ladies. So lovely to see you today.
Morning. I'll just
As
mute
I
now.
said, oh, hi Ruth. Is that Ruth? Popular, as a request from my sister, she asked for me to talk about how to sit in meditation because she had difficulty with it. So I really only have 3 tips because like I watched some videos just to check I was giving you correct information. They all say, and I knew this already, what you should do is prop your hips up in something, whether it's a blanket, and this is what I use. I roll up a blanket and sit on that. But they say that it's so your hips are higher than your knees. But look at me, and I'm relatively flexible. My knee's still higher than my hip. So I think it's almost impossible to actually do that. So I was experimenting and I was using blocks, which I only have because I'm a yoga teacher. But to actually get my hips higher than my knees, I have to sit on 2 blocks. And even then, so my knees then don't really hit the ground. So I think the aim is to have your hips higher than your knees. But I don't think these people realize how unflexible we actually all are. And it's kind of an impossible dream. So I would say, sit on a blanket so that your hips are tilting slightly forward. So that just helps you sit up straight. If it's uncomfortable, you can put things underneath your knees if they're sitting up. So I would maybe do that. That's actually really quite nice because that's supporting. And the other thing I like is I use a blanket because my feet dig into the ground. So I have this really fluffy, very relatively tacky thing. And that's the way I meditate in the mornings, and it all feels quite good. So that would be the first thing about your posture. The second thing, and the unfortunate piece of information, is that really it gets better over time. So it's really something that you just have to practice, and it does. And I've been meditating every day now since 2021, and on and off, and since mid last year was really when I started. And it's really now that I'm starting to notice the difference. And then the third piece of advice, if you are wanting to start doing it, and really you should do it every day, I would recommend, I started trying to do 20 minutes a day. And I can look at my record because I do it on an app, and I can see when I did it. And I started, I stopped, I started, I stopped. It took me months and months, and really it's only been this year that I've got going. And that's because I pulled my time I would do it from 20 minutes, and I went right back and started at 4 minutes. And I built up 4 minutes, which was quite easy for me. And I did that until I was actually meditating and going, do you know what? This isn't long enough. I want to do it for longer. And then I upped it by a minute. And now I'm actually at 12 minutes, and I'm quite happy with that. That's working for me. So that's what I would recommend. Really shorten your times. Really try and do it every day if you want to do it. And then just get yourself as comfortable as possible with many props and blankets as you like. So anyway, so that's my advice, but really just kind of try it and see what works for you. So having said that, if you now get yourself into a comfortable position, and also as Geraldine said, don't feel free to sit on a chair for the meditation parts or lie down, and that's also okay. So get yourself into a nice comfortable position, seated or otherwise. And we'll just take a few deep breaths. So breathing in deeply through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. Your hands can be on your knees, palms down. Some people quite like to have one palm on top of the other in your lap. So again, whatever works for you. But just breathing in deeply through the nose and out through the nose. One last time. In through the nose and out through the nose. And just allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Keep the focus on the breath, observing the sensations of the breath, the sensation in your nostrils, the gentle rise and fall of your chest, and the expansion and contraction of your belly as you breathe in and breathe out. And as you observe the inhalation and exhalation, use the exhalation to release any tension from your body. So on your next exhalation, relax the face, relax the shoulders down, and observe if there's anywhere else in the body you may be holding on to any tension, and use the power of the exhalation to just let go in those muscles. So just enjoy the sensation on the next cycle of breath, the next inhalation and exhalation. And then on the next inhale, gently open up the eyes. Take another deep breath in and out. And we'll just get ready to start the class. I'll move all this paraphernalia. So extend the legs, and we'll begin by bending the right knee, bringing the sole of the foot to the floor. And as we inhale, lengthen up through the torso. And as you exhale, bring your right arm behind you and hug onto that knee, twisting through the torso. And just observe how that feels, because you want the twist to really be coming from the torso rather than using your shoulders to bring yourself round. So deep breath in, lengthen, and as you exhale, if you suck in your stomach muscles, and see if you can turn around a little bit more. So keeping the shoulders relaxed and using your torso almost to crank yourself round. And then on your next inhale, unwind, and we'll swap over to the other side. So extend the legs. You might want to give it a shake. Bring the left one in. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you can bring your arm behind you hug the left knee. Again, using the torso and using the breath. Crank yourself round. Just give me 1 minute. So inhale, lengthening up, and exhale, twisting round. So the next inhale, come back to center. And we're just going to warm up the ankles and the wrists. So pull the toes towards you. You might feel the heels come up, that's okay. And then as you exhale, point the toes away. Inhale, toes towards you. Remember to sit up straight, it's quite easy to forget and hunch down. Toes pointing away. And one last time, inhale, bring the toes towards you, and exhale, point away. Bring the hands up, and we'll do the same. Inhale, bring the fingertips as if you're trying to draw them back into your face. Exhale, and fingertips pointing down. Try and relax the shoulders. Mine just came up there. So inhale, fingers up. Exhale, down. One last time, fingers up. Exhale, down. So do some side bends. So inhale, bring the right arm up. Bring the left arm just out slightly. And as you exhale, coming down, keeping both sitting bones flat on the floor. Breathing deeply. I'm up on my fingertips. You might want to bring the hand down, whatever's comfortable for you. The hands down, it actually allows you to bring the elbow down, but make sure your right sitting bone stays on the floor. Inhale, come up. We'll swap the hands. As you exhale, coming down to the right. And really, you can close your eyes here, and it's quite nice to really feel the sensation of the stretch right the way from the tip of the fingers, through the wrist, down the arm, the armpit, down the side of the whole side of the body. Inhale, come up. We'll do a forward fold, so reaching up. Exhale, so keep the back straight. You're still looking forward, looking forward. You can lower the hands. Inhale again. Feel the sensation that your chest is coming towards your toes. And only when you feel you've gone far enough, you can, if you would like, drop the head. But you're trying to pivot from the hips rather than just doing all the work by curving the back. A really nice stretch here. So inhale, walk the hands back, and we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So spin the knees round. Come on up. And we're just going to go into cat and cow. So check you've got a nice stable base first of all. So pushing out of the shoulders, pushing in with the feet, hips over the knees. And again, I mentioned this before, it's a really good way to switch on the muscles. Pretend you're kind of dialing your hands outwards. So as if you're trying to turn them like that, but without actually moving them off the floor. And you'll feel everything switch on, your arms, even your core. From here, we're going to drop the belly, open up the chest, look up, exhale, tuck the tailbone in, pushing the back up to the ceiling. You're very familiar with this now, so just do a few cycles of this with your own breath, really feeling out every part of the spine, so working in everywhere, because we don't work our spine enough at all, and it's where we end up getting loads of problems. Keeping the shoulders down, the arms engaged, feet pressing into the mat. Remembering to breathe. For such a simple posture, there's actually quite a lot going on. And then come back to neutral. We're going to carry on using our balance and strengthening our arms. So you can either just do the legs. So if you pick up the right leg and extend it, and really push out so that you're exercising the shoulders. If you want to extend, you can bring up the left arm. So I'm pointing with my fingers and my foot is flexed. Inhale here, exhale. We're going to crunch it in. We're going to do this another 2 times. Inhale, really extend with focus and crunch it in. One last time, extend with focus, then come back down. And we'll do the other side. So again, up to you whether you just do your legs or leg and arm. So extending the left leg, foot flex, and if you would like, right arm, inhale, extend, exhale, crunch. See if you can bring the knee towards the nose, extend and crunch. And last time, really pushing to opposite sides of the room. Come back down. We're just going to push up into downward dog from here. If you want a little rest, go down into child's pose. We're going to tuck the toes under. Push the hips up and back, downward dog. A nice bit of motion here, stretching out the ankles. Oh, I went for a run this morning. My right calf's really sore. Oh, so just work out any kinks that you may have. Oh. You can help each ankle down with the other foot. You can bend both knees and then push the hips up. And then we're just going to walk forward between the hands, nice and gently. Ragdoll pose. So we can hold on to opposite elbows, stretching out the back. Oh, and sway from side to side, and then gently come up. Last thing to come up is the head in mountain. Ah, lovely. Should feel nice and awake now, hopefully. Oh, my head's chopped off. Okay. So I'll just have a nice flow here. So check your position. Feet firmly pressing into the ground. Feel as if you're dialing the feet out. So as if you're doing that with your feet, it'll switch on the thighs, the buttocks. Hold in the core, roll the shoulders back, sweep the arms up. I'm going to fall forward, down, into forward fold. Halfway up, you might put your hands on the thighs, so the weight's coming forward, looking at the floor with a flat back. I'm going to put the hands down, step the feet back, not all the way, we're just going to go into downward dog. So keep the hips up. From here, we're going to go into plank. So if your shoulders aren't that strong, you might want to come down onto your knees, first of all. We're going to go up into a high plank. Using the core, knees down is perfectly okay. From here, I'm going to lower down. So if you're on your knees, if you want to go down on your knees, do that now, but lower chin and chest to the floor. Untuck the feet. So make sure the hands are underneath the chest, not underneath the shoulders. So not underneath, beside the chest, so that when you push up into cobra, you get a nice stretch on the lower back. We'll do another 2 of those. So exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, pushing up, keeping the elbows tucked in. So exercising the back, lower down. One more time. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, lower. And now we're going to tuck the toes under and push up into downward dog. So you might want to put the knees down first. It makes it easier. Otherwise, pushing up, downward dog. Excellent. So from here, we're going to raise the right foot, look forward between the hands, bring the weight forward, and then you're going to bring the right foot through. Turn the back foot to 45 degrees. Bring the body up. Open out the arms and you're in warrior 2. We're just going to stay here for a few breaths to get the alignment right. So the knee should be above the ankle. Mine's a bit too far over, so I'm going to give myself a little bit more room. Pushing the pinkies back. You're actually working the shoulders here quite a lot just by extending them. So looking out over the middle finger of the right hand. From here, we're going to move into triangle. So straighten the front knee. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to come over to the right. So I'm not dropping any arms yet. I've just moved over to the right. And then when you're ready, pivot the arms. So left arm pointing up, right arm pointing down. Looking up to the ceiling. Try and tuck the tailbone in so your bum's not sticking out. Deep breath here. And inhale, we're going to come back into warrior 2. So bring the torso up, bend the knee again. And from here, we're going to cartwheel the hands to the floor. And then push the feet back into downward dog. Come forward into plank. You might want to put the knees down and bring the knees down if it's helpful for you to do so. Lower chin and chest to the floor. Push up into cobra. Tuck toes under. We're going to push up and back into downward dog. And then we'll repeat the standing postures on the other side. So inhale, lift up the left leg. Look forward between the hands. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose. Step the foot through. Turn your back foot to kind of 45 degrees. And gently bring up the torso. Open up the arms. Front left knee is bent. And you want to watch that the knee's not coming in. Puts for strain on the knee. Keep the knee directly over the ankle. Stick with it. Strong in the legs. Nice and graceful in the arms. To move into triangle, straighten that front leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Come over to the left hand side with the torso. And then when you've gone as far as you can go, drop the left hand. You might hold on to the leg. I just put the back of my hand against the inside of my leg, right arm reaching up. And you want to feel as if you've been pulled in two different directions. You're being pulled up by the right hand, and your left hand has been pulled down to the floor. Strong in the legs. To come back into warrior, be careful of the knees. So you want to bend that front knee. Look down at the ground. Bring the torso back up. You want your arms to be parallel to the floor. Check your knees over your ankle. Now we're going to cartwheel down, so bring one hand to either side of the foot. And then you're going to kick the foot back into downward dog. Bring the weight forwards and we'll just flow through. So bring the knees down if you would like, but lower chin and chest to the floor. Push up into cobra. Tuck toes under. Push hips up and back into downward dog. And from here, we're just going to go into child's pose. So bring the knees down. Choose whichever child's pose works for you. I've got my knees apart. Relax. Hips sinking towards the heels. Hands forwards. And relax. So from here, just lift the head. If your knees are apart, bring them back in together. Tuck the toes under. We're pushing up into downward dog. Pick up the right foot. Bring it in between the hands. Now from here, you're going to pivot round. Pivot round, so both feet are facing the long end of the mat. Put your hands on your hips. Come up. And then we'll go back into that forward fold. So just want to check that your feet are in a good position. So nice wide stance. Put your hands on your hips. Inhale, roll shoulders back, look at the ceiling. Exhale, pivot from the hips. So again, with a flat back, you don't want to be making your back do all the work, which can be harmful. So nice straight back. And once you've come as far as you would like, you might want to have your hands on your legs, or if you can reach, hands on the floor. And once you've gone as far as is comfortable, you can drop the head. Take a deep breath in, walk the hands over to the left. If you would like, you can bring the left hand, bring it onto the lower back. I'll just give you a nice twist here. You can have a bend in the knees rather than having them too locked. Better for them to have a slight bend here. Exhale, come back to center. Then walk the hands over to the right. Put your hand along the right hand side of your right ankle or right thigh. You can bring your right hand to your back. Help yourself, your lower back. Help yourself twist. Exhale. Come down. Heel toe. The feet a little bit closer to each other, but still quite wide. I've just brought them in a little bit. My toes are pointing out. So I'm going to roll up. And now I'm going to come down into goddess. So take a deep breath in. Exhale. Coming down. Knees bent. You'll feel this in the thighs for sure. Bring the hands here. If you want a real challenge, you can come up on your toes. Or if that's a bit much, you can try one foot, then the other, or you can just stay here. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. 2, 3. Come on up. Give your legs a shake. From here, we'll just go down into goddess, come down into a squat. Bring the hands onto the floor. We're going to try a balancing pose here. So just try whatever works for you. If you're not scared you're going to fall in this, but you shouldn't. You can always put something in front of you, just in case you're going to tip forward. So what you're going to take your hands, fingers spread, flat on the floor. My knees are outside my elbows, and I'm going to bring my weight forward. So looking, not directly down, looking kind of ahead of me. And then I'm going to lean the weight forward. You can try picking up one foot at a time, just to see what it feels like. You can rock forward, coming up on your toes. And then if you feel confident, you can balance on your hands. Try and breathe deeply. And then when you're ready, come back down on your toes. So you might want to try that again, just so you don't feel rushed. And if you don't want to take your whole weight in your hands, that's fine. You can just rock forward until you feel you're at that tipping point. You can try picking up one foot, then the other. Just have a play. See what works for you. No rush. If you've decided that's enough for me, I don't fancy that at all, that's okay. We're just going to, the next posture, we're just going to be sitting on the floor with our legs outstretched. So up to you, but I just don't want to rush people who are trying. We want to, sorry, I didn't mean other people are not trying, but I think you know what I mean. And so when you're ready, you've had enough of that. We're going to drop down to the floor. You can put your hands behind you to help yourself down, nice and hopefully more elegantly than me. And stretch the legs out. Oh, that got my heart rate going. Right, I'm going to turn around, but you don't need to. We'll be doing boat pose. So bring the soles of the feet to the floor. I'm going to switch on the core a little bit. So leaning back straight, shoulders back. You can stay just here if you want. You can feel your core muscles switching on. But you can, if you would like, bring the lower legs up so they're parallel to the ground. You can bring your arms to the side. Remember, keeping the chest open so you don't want to curve in the back. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you can try and straighten the legs. Oh, you can see I'm tired from frog. My right foot's got the shakes. So we'll stay for 3, 2, 1. Put the hands behind the knees, soles of the feet to the floor, and just hug your knees. Give your knees a nice hug. Oh, you can drop the head. So let's stretch out the legs, saddle position, do a couple of forward folds. So look towards the right leg. You might want to shift your hips, so pick your hips up so that your heart is facing the leg. The right leg, inhale, reach up, exhale, falling forward. Again, keeping the back straight, the heart pressing towards the toes. And exhale, falling forward. Close the eyes. The heart rate should start to lower a little bit. We've done all the serious work for this class. Some nice stretches left. Inhale, come up, pick up your hips. Face the left leg, inhale, reaching up, exhale, falling forwards. Ooh. Feels nice. Remember to keep both sitting bones on the floor. I can feel my right one determined to come up. I'm trying to move my weight back so that it's staying sitting on the ground. Come back up, just look at the toes, walk the hands up, bring the feet together. We'll do a little counter pose to the forward fold. So let's lower ourselves down. So let's bring the arms out and lower ourselves one vertebra at a time with control until you're flying flat on the ground. So bring the palms face down inside of the body so that you can get a bit of traction with your elbows. So using your elbows, you can pick up your upper body and then look, tilt the head backwards and then place the top of the head on the ground. So you should get a nice stretch along the front of the throat, nice back bend. But just check you're not feeling any tension, particularly at the back of the neck. So if that's causing you any aggravation, I would just bring the back of the head back down to the floor. So if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. So to come out of the posture, we're just going to pick the body up using the elbows or pressing against the floor. Lower ourselves down. We'll do some nice twists. So lift up the feet so that they're pointing straight up to the ceiling. Push with your heels to get the last lovely stretch down the back of the leg. Bend the knees. Stretch out the arms. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, we're going to allow the knees fall over to the right. So you want to keep the left shoulder, trying to keep that pressed into the ground. And you might want to move. I've tucked my right foot, my left foot, just under the bottom of my right foot, just so that my knees don't feel as if they're dangling in air. But that depends very much on your flexibility. But feel free to maybe hook one foot behind the other or bend your knees more or less. As long as you feel a really nice stretch all the way along the left arm, side, left side, and the back, and the left hip. So inhale with control, come back to center, straighten out the legs, pushing up with the heels, bend the knees, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow the knees to come over. Wow. Oh, I can really feel that in my right hip. It feels like a nice stretch, not like a pain that shouldn't be there. Close down the eyes. Inhale with control. Come back to center. And bring the soles of the feet to the ground. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Just open out the knees. Reclining butterfly. Close the eyes. Bring the hands to the belly. Taking a few breaths here. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, extend the right leg to the edge of the mat. Take another deep breath in. Extend the left leg to the edge of the mat. Open out the arms. And make any adjustments you need for Shavasana. Allow the toes to fall outwards. Fingers gently curved. Eyes closed. Just become aware of all the points along the body which are coming into connection with the floor. Feel your body becoming heavier, sinking deeper into the floor. Allowing the breath slow down, deepen. And with every breath, use that exhalation to send relaxation to all parts of the body. Feet, to the right leg, to the left leg, the pelvis, the hips, the lower back, belly, the upper back, and the chest. Fingers, the wrists, forearms, the upper arms, and the shoulders. Relaxing the neck, jaw, cheeks, the eyes, and the forehead. Feeling the heaviness and relaxation through the entire body. And just enjoy the next few minutes in silence. Enjoying the feel of your muscles and the quietness of the mind. So on your next in-breath, allow the energy from that breath to allow you to make little movements, tips of your fingers, tips of your toes, increasing those movements, allowing them to move through the rest of the body, your wrists, oh, maybe bend your knees, rock from side to side, maybe take a nice big stretch from your toes right the way up to your fingertips. And then roll over onto one side. Just stay here for a moment. Before helping yourself up, a seated position. Just roll the shoulders back and down, keeping the eyes closed. We'll take one last stretch, open up the chest, arms to the sides, bring the arms up, stretching tall, and with the exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. I hope that helps your Friday.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Yeah, you
Well,
too.
It's Joanna's birthday tomorrow.
Oh,
It's
birthday,
Joanna's birthday
Joanne.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
We won't ask how old.